Two pillars, one foundation. The smell of ozone and the cool air of the museum were the first things I registered. But soon I was enveloped by the history itself. My visit to the National Museum of African American History and Culture was not merely a trip through exhibits. It was a physical descent into memory, laid beneath glass and light. Though this was not my first time, the experience was no less visceral. I walked past shackles and slave ship manifests, past the uniforms of Confederacy and the remnants of Jim Crow. It was a relentless, necessary chronology of pain, each artifact, a dress sewn by an enslaved woman, a segregated water fountain, was a testament to a system designed to dehumanize and destroy. The experience was overwhelming, a sorrow that felt genetic, passed down through generations. What was most striking was the sheer relentless resilience woven into the trauma, the vibrant creativity, the refusal to break, the constant striving for dignity and change. When I finally ascended to the floors dedicated to Black joy, achievement, and culture, I carried the profound heavy weight of the struggle required for those moments to exist. It was 2 steps forward, earned at an unimaginable cost. The following morning, the whiplash was sharp. I stood in the hushed, almost consecrated chamber of the National Archives, gazing upon 3 original documents that define American nationhood: the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the U.S. Constitution. They lay sealed behind thick glass, bathed in protective dim light, treated with the reverence of sacred text. I read the following script, the majestic pronouncements of "we the people" and "unalienable rights." But having just emerged from the darkness of the past, the words were blindingly, painfully incomplete. I saw not the promise, but the omissions. The grand vision of liberty was written at the expense of an entire race. And I couldn't help but see the Constitution not as a flawless blueprint for freedom, but as a comprised or a compromised ledger where my ancestors were counted as 3/5 of a person for the sake of political power. The realization was a deep, cold ache. This country was unequivocally not founded with my people in mind. Our inclusion came only through protest, war, and the relentless, blood-soaked demanding of basic humanity. The original documents, the supposed bedrock of justice, were the very instruments of our exclusion. This contrast is where the deep sadness resides. The journey from the ships to the White House has been a constant, exhausting fight. What is perhaps the most enduring horror is the cyclical pattern of history. We fought for the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, achieving monumental, life-altering change, only to watch those hard-won changes be reviewed, challenged, and clawed back throughout history, whether through Jim Crow laws, voter suppression, or judicial decisions. The fight for rights is not a finished chapter sealed under glass, but an active, ongoing crisis. This constant state of conflict makes the question of safety deeply personal. As an African American woman married to a white man for over 36 years, having raised three bright, successful biracial sons, and now watching a new grandson grow up, the sight of open white nationalism is terrifying. When I look at the documents that excluded my ancestors, I am forced to ask, are my sons truly safe? What is becoming of the United States of America when such hatred is on full display? My heart aches with concern for their future in a nation still struggling to live up to its oldest ideals. The weight of this anxiety was almost unbearable. I had visited the MLK Memorial the day before the museum, but the cold, hard truth of the archives demanded I return. With a friend who was seeing it for the first time, I walked the path again, standing before Dr. King's monumental gaze. I listened again in my mind to the echo of his "I've been to the mountaintop" speech, a promise forged in the face of despair. I yearned for that hope. I needed to trust that despite having been through hell and back again, I cannot afford to lose the faith that fueled the very struggle for my family's right to exist. Leaving the archives, the grief was profoundly different than the day before. It wasn't the sorrow of the past. It was the sorrow of the present. The clear knowledge that freedom remains a conditional and contested inheritance. But carrying the truth of both places, the horror in the museum and the hypocrisy in the vault, is crucial. It fuels the necessary resolve to honor the resilience of those who endured and to continue the unfinished work of truly belonging to a nation that was never designed for us.